Every Friday, we publish a video about bankruptcy law. This week, let's talk about trusts and estates. Let's assume that there is a couple who have substantial assets and they have several children. Estate planning, of course, is very important. Now, let us suppose that this couple have either a will or an inter vivos trust, where their children will be the beneficiaries upon their death. Now, let's assume that one of the children is in financial difficulty and, not unreasonably, they don't want a bequest either from the trust or the will to go to that child's creditors. And so, what do? They eliminate that child as a beneficiary of the trust or the will. Now, let's next assume that shall we say, ne'er-do-well child ends up in bankruptcy, and the enterprising trustee makes a claim that omitting that child as a beneficiary was a fraudulent transfer. In other words, the theory would be that when you delete somebody as a beneficiary, that is a fraudulent transfer, perhaps with actual intent, because it eliminates that child or that child's creditors from receiving property under the trust. Well, I am happy to report that bankruptcy judge Scott Clarkson from Santa Ana, California, had precisely that question in a case involving an inter vivos revocable trust. And in a rather expert opinion, Judge Clarkson told us that deleting a beneficiary is not a transfer because there is at best an expectancy interest, which is not property, and so therefore there was no transfer of property and no means for making a claim of a fraudulent transfer or something similar. This, I think, is a very important decision, and I think trust and estates lawyers probably ought to study up on a little bankruptcy law, read this and related cases to be sure that whatever you do to avoid having your heirs lose their property to creditors would be something important to do. I am Bill Rochelle, the editor-at-large for American Bankruptcy Institute. I will return same time next week with something interesting that has occurred in the world of bankruptcy. Until then, be well and stay safe. Good day.